In this module, we will be discussing congressional organization, rules, and committees. The House of Representatives consists of a proportional number of congressmen from each state depending on population. This is thanks to the Great Compromise, also known as the Connecticut Compromise, that the framers debated on that long, hot summer in Philadelphia. Alaska, for example, has just one congressman. California has 52. In total, the House consists of 435 members. The leadership of the House starts with the Speaker of the House at the top. The Speaker of the House is second in line for the presidency should anything happen to the President or the Vice President. The Speaker is selected by the majority party. She or he is the principal leader of the majority party as well as the presiding officer of the entire House. The majority party also elects a whip and a majority leader. The minority party also selects a minority leader and a minority whip. The whip serves a number of functions. She or he keeps the party leader informed about what party members are thinking on certain bills, and the whip is also in charge of determining what the likely vote will be on a controversial issue. In other words, how many senators will be voting in favor of the bill, and how many senators will be voting against a bill. The whip rounds up members prior to an important vote. The majority whip has deputy whips to help perform these duties. The Senate consists of 2 senators from each state, a senior senator and a junior senator. Their ranking is based on years in office. There are 100 senators in the Senate, plus the 435 members of the House, makes Congress comprised of 535 members. The Vice President of the United States is President of the Senate. In reality, the Vice President is rarely in the Senate, and his only function is to cast the tie-breaking vote should there be a tie. The Senate addresses the Vice President as President when in the Senate. The leadership of the Senate is called the President pro tempore. Pro tempore is Latin for of the time. It's sometimes shortened to President pro tem. Although the President pro tem is third in line of presidential succession after the Vice President and the Speaker of the House, it is a largely honorific position. It's usually given to the longest-serving member of the majority party. The majority party chooses the pro tem. The majority party and the minority party both select their own leaders and whips who perform the same functions as those in the House. Congress primarily gets its work done through committees. Both chambers employ a complex system of permanent committees to assist them in carrying out their legislative duties. A select committee is one that is formed to deal with a temporary matter. It is disbanded once the issue is resolved. In some cases, these are called ad hoc committees. Ad hoc is Latin for towards this thing. Each chamber even has a committee called the Steering Committee that decides which members serve on which committees. Congress uses a seniority system, which means that the members serving the longest often head up each committee. This isn't always the case, though, because in the 1970s, a secret ballot was introduced in the House leadership section. The ranking members can be passed up for leadership assignments if they do not share the views of the most powerful factions within the party. The chairs, or leaders of each committee, are from the majority party. The highest ranking member in the committee of the minority party is called the ranking committee member. The most powerful and influential committee assignment for a member of the House of Representatives is definitely the Ways and Means Committee because it appropriates federal funding. Another example of the power of the House, Ways and Means Committee, is that it is just one of 3 committees, the Senate Committee on Finance and the Joint Committee on Taxation are the other 2, that can request to privately review the tax documents of any individual in closed session and consider their public release. As a member of the Ways and Means Committee, Democratic Congressman Bill Prastrell of New Jersey recently called on the Ways and Means Committee chair to submit a formal request to the Secretary of the Treasury to release President Trump's tax returns. The House Rules Committee is also powerful because it limits the time for debate and determines whether amendments to a bill, which might impede its progress through Congress, can be considered. The Senate does not have a Rules Committee because less restrictions to debate exist in the Senate. And we'll discuss this further in just a minute. Both chambers have appropriations committees to allocate the spending of federal funds. Both chambers also have armed services committees, judiciary committees, and veterans affairs committees. Both houses have about 20 standing committees each. About 42 members serve on each House committee because there are so many members of the House, as opposed to just 8 on each Senate committee. The majority party ensures that it has enough members on each committee to control the committee. Congressmen also have the staff system to rely on, and that staff system includes legislators' personal staff, both in DC and in their home districts. I served as a staff member to a senator in his home district. Committee staffers who organize and administer the committee's work, and staff agencies such as the Congressional Research Service, the General Accounting Office, and Congressional Budget Office that serve as information bases for the congressmen. All the records of congressional business, by the way, they can be found in the Congressional Record. This register was previously called the Annals of Congress, also the Debates and Proceedings of Congress in the United States, and the Register of Debates in Congress, and the Congressional Globe. So it's had many names, but it can be easily researched online. The Congressional Record is split into 4 parts. A daily digest is the first part. It also includes a House section, that's the second part, a Senate section, and a section where congressional members' remarks can be extended if need be. Remember to review your readings and answer the questions, and review this video as many times as it takes to really learn the material.